Nancy Wethington with you today with another project for the Button Farm Club. I loved working on this project and incorporated two different collections, paper collections, one from Ciao Bella and one from Stamperia. And I've added some rice paper, some shells, some netting, fish netting, and a hasp as a closure. And this is actually a box. It's a box from Graphic 45 that I'm using. If I open the hasp, I'm using it as a book in a box and use the box itself as the binding for the book. So I'll just do a run through of this with you, and of course all the directions will come with the kit, including everything you see here to make the book. So we're doing a hidden hinge binding. This is a Kathy Orta King binding, and it worked well for this particular book. I've done a separate YouTube video that shows how I did this binding because it's a little bit different than what Kathy does. And also I'll show you how I attached my pages to the binding, which is also way different than what Kathy does. So let me start again, the outside of the book. This is a fussy cut from the paper, one of the papers, and built it up pretty much with the shells. Added some rice paper stuck in here that makes it look like old writing. So when we open it up, I used another piece of rice paper on the inside front, and you can use that as a pocket. And then in your kit are two die-cut shells, die-cut and embossed shells. And so you have a pocket on the inside cover, and then you have a pocket with the shells, and those will keep your little tags in place. Each of these pages has an insert, and all I've done is used a round punch, so it's easier to get the inserts out, but this is gorgeous paper. I mean, the colors are just beautiful. So that'll be a little tuck-in. On the next page, this is a fussy cut that I did with from one of the images on the paper, and a tag with some string, or whatever this is called. It's not string, what is that? And this one is a flip page with, again, an insert. Those images, just gorgeous. Beautiful images on this paper. The next page is a side pocket, and I ended up cutting this pocket. This was all one image, and I just did a fussy cut along what looked to me like the sand. This looks like the bottom of the ocean to me. And then did some fussy cuts and inserted those into that pocket. Then this opens. These are two images from the paper as well, and just made that into a little booklet and close that up again. And then another insert. Whoop. Pretty, huh? Pretty paper, just gorgeous. And the colors on these, oh my goodness sakes. Okay, so this is a captain's wheel or a ship's wheel. Fussy cut, cut down to size a little bit, and then two insert tags that I made out of extra paper. This is a deep sea diver, and I fussy cut him and then put him on some cardstock so that it would remain a little bit stiffer, so you can add tags. You're going to have plenty of tags left over on this, so add a couple tags behind him. And then again, look at these images. They're just gorgeous. The colors. Ugh, beautiful, beautiful papers. And even though these are competing companies, the colors almost are perfect together. And the images that they used are so good together. So forgive me for doing this, but I just thought they were so good. So a little belly band, fussy cut again. And then at the end of everything, I ended up finding this on a piece of paper and decided to fussy cut that, and I'll cut more tags or stick photos behind here or whatever. So I just use that as a pocket. Now what I wanted to show you for the binding, and just we're going to pretend for a minute that this paper is the same height as my binding. So I mentioned in the binding tutorial that normally what you would do is leave the one side open to your paper so that you could glue it to a fin, a binding fin, and then this would become your page. But instead of doing that, I have an online friend, Claire, who is just brilliant at this stuff. And she figured out that if you take your page and glue it to just one side of the fin, that your pages would lay much flatter. And as you can see, they really do. I couldn't get this if I used the fin as it's supposed to be used. It wouldn't lay this flat. So that's what we're going to do on this book. We're going to take the paper and attach it to one side only of the fin, so that I would glue the fin to my page like this, and the fin on one side would show and on the other side would be covered. So that's what you see here. This particular page was attached to this fin. You can't see the fin on this side, but you can see it on this side. So at the end of this, when I had leftover paper, I took 1/4-inch pieces and attached them to the fin and attached it to the gusset in between the fins. So it decorates that as well. And those are just leftover pieces. See? And that's the book. It's so fun to do, and if you've never done a hidden hinge binding, I hope you try it, and I hope you like my book. Thanks for visiting with me today. See you on the Button Farm side with By the Sea mini book, Graphic 45, Ciao Bella, and Stamperia. Thank y'all.